Sorry, y'all. Y'all wouldn't even believe I was talking the entire time. Okay, the entire time. Now I have to start all over again. I don't mind though. So I was on a panel, and I just so happened to go to um basically to Google, and I'm seeing that they was releasing the Epstein files and stuff that hasn't been released yet. First of all, I find it to be bullshit that because it's such a high profile case that's including people in these prominent positions, they are like taking their time to release different photos and different evidence. I just don't get it. It is outright biasness. And if it was anybody's case, other than a case that's including high profile people, then they would have been and had to start emptying out a bunch of evidence. But of course, when it comes to Hollywood, it's a stage for all of us, and they are the ones that are writing the scripts. So even if the scripts or the storylines doesn't make any sense, then you still, what can you do about it, you know? And so the best thing to do is just sit and watch and see how shit is going to unfold. Now, the documents are being dropped today, and of course, we've been focusing on Prince Andrew. We've been over here dragging Prince Andrew for filth before this shit kicked it up a notch. Okay, during the time we was over here talking about the situation between Epstein and Prince Andrew, a lot of shit was still being swept under the rug. It wasn't until recent events where it got too much for King Charles to be able to handle. We all know that he's no Queen Elizabeth, even though he's straight in the bloodline. But Queen Elizabeth was basically well, she was the queen, but she was also the queen of sweeping things underneath the rug. And so Prince Charles, really, should he even be king? I mean, he's next in line, but to me, it just, the British royals aren't the same. And his reign just, it just makes everything just so boring, in my opinion. But that's neither here or there. It had got to be too much for him to be able to keep covering this shit up with Prince Andrew. And he didn't have as much pull as Queen Elizabeth to be able to keep certain things, underground. Too much shit start coming out, and it just wasn't making any sense. So, of course, when you're dealing with this high profile case with these prominent, rich individuals, they already know when shit going to start coming out. So basically, King Charles basically, was putting him out the way. So, you know, when shit come out and hit the fan, because I don't even think these batches that's coming out, to my understanding, is more to come. Okay. It's plenty more where that come from. And I think that, of course, King Charles was put on notice that, hey, we have this about Prince Andrew. I mean, because even before all of this came out, it was just evident that he was in deep. Like, him and Epstein were like the best of fucking friends. And he was even caught, opening up the door. And somebody knocked on the door. He opened the door. It's a picture of him. Like, it's just too much walking in the park. We went all through that, but that was last year. And even though it's still up, because we got action, we're gonna have to cover that shit all over again. And to my opinion, a lot of people really didn't know who Epstein was, or, you know what I'm saying? They didn't know his position, and including myself, you might have seen pictures, but you really didn't know for real who Epstein was. And the crazy thing about it is that he was a fraud. He was basically somebody who pretended to be important. He was street smart. He knew he was a scammer, and he knew how to get by. And because, he was able to supply certain things and be able to stay under the radar, you know what I mean? That's how he was able to have as much as celebrity connects and stuff like that, because, they was just secretly as sick as he was, you know. But if you look at his Epstein's background, just to start from the beginning, he was just a regular guy who dropped out of college. Okay, he didn't have no any degrees or anything. Okay, but he did go to school for a little while, dropped out. Then he ended up teaching at a school in Manhattan. Okay, and I'm so sorry. Yeah, he did. It was a school in Manhattan that he taught. And then after he left there, he just began to um just be a, I would say, just a, he was just a scammer. He had no education in the field that he was in of finance, none whatsoever. He didn't come from a wealthy household. His father was a construction worker, and his mother, she was a school aide. Okay, and then she became a secretary for an insurance company. So they were just regular, just middle class, just a middle class family. But here's the thing: when he worked at the high school, I believe he was terminated. Now, like I said, it's a pop up, and don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to tell a little bit of background, and it's something that you could just easily just look up yourself. Okay, I'm not no. This is not. I'm really into the Prince Andrew portion of things, but I just want to just cover the basis, like the foundation of who this guy was. Okay. Um. So I believe when he worked at the high school, I believe he even got terminated from the high school. Okay. And that was a high, of course, he around young girls and stuff like that. But then he began to work at a Wall Street investment bank. No background, no education, no nothing. Just was able to talk his way into seeming like he knew what the fuck he was talking about. And I'm not going to knock the hustle, because you have a couple people who you would think that they went to school for certain things because they're just that good at it, but they haven't. You know what I mean? So then in 19 it was this 1982. In 1982 he opened up a consulting company. All right. Um and that was in Manhattan, in his little apartment. So I'm just going to let me just read it verbatim, because I want to make sure at least this part, so you could be able to see his background besides the outline that I've given. I want you to see how a person with absolutely no degrees, no education in finance, no not a wealthy didn't come from the Rockefellers or anything of that sort. Just you were just a scammer. Period. So it says the company struggled for several years, but then in 1988, um, he formed a new company. So from the International Assets Group, which he was running from Manhattan apartment. Okay, a consulting company. Now, if you're in Manhattan, that means that you already have the eyes of very wealthy, clients and stuff like that. Did any of them bother to know whether he had degrees? Knowing him, he probably made some and put it on the wall, and he speaks well, and it seemed like he knows what he's doing. So, for the most part, that's how he, a fast talker. So anyway, in 1988, he stepped it up. So he came up with J. Epstein and Company. Okay. So still, people thought that the company, to people who were like myself, like people who write on these sort of things, but we're talking about, big journalists that report on these sort of things. They still trying to figure out, who is this person? They just came out of nowhere. They're making these consulting companies, and they have a lot of rich people in and out. Like, what the fuck is going on? This guy is saying that he went to so and so college, or he's not answering, where his degrees are from. So who is he? What's going on? So anyway, he became a mystery. And of course, when you're in the right hands and know the right people, they'll help to keep your business buried and private and stuff like that. All right. So the only public identified client he had was billionaire Leslie H. Wexner. And she was the founder of L Brands, and the home of the, Victoria's Secret and other major fashion outlets. Wexner came to rely heavily on Epstein, eventually taking the extraordinary step of giving him power of attorney. Okay. Over his, rather, that's a male, over his trust and foundations. I mean, why? And that's the mystery of it all. Like, After forming J. Epstein and Company and taking Wexner on as a client, Epstein grew immensely wealthy. He acquired Wexner's New York mansion, several other luxury properties, and a private plane. The company later became Financial Trust Company and operated out of the Virgin Islands, where Epstein had brought his own private island and Little St. James. All right, so let's keep that in mind. Leslie H. Wexner, okay, the founder of L Brands, is the one that first puts Epstein on. All right, and so y'all already know how I am. We're probably gonna dig into that on my other channel. But anyway, Epstein then began associating with socially prominent people, including, as we saw today, as the files are being released, Bill Clinton, um, Donald Trump, also the movie stars and celebrities. And then, what does it say here? 2000, Epstein founded the Jeffrey Epstein Foundation, whose mission was the support of cutting edge science and science education with no background whatsoever. Just a, oh my goodness, just a college dropout. Okay. But Wexner decided to just leave everything, give him power of attorney over all his trusts and foundations. Okay. So pretty much without saying, because when it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense on purpose. But what can you do about it? Imagine, uh, you know, being the one on the outside looking in, trying to figure out who this person is. It just came out of the clear blue sky. Okay. And it now having billionaire clients. But anyway, so out of this foundation, millions of dollars was given to Harvard, okay, for biology and some evolution program, as well as like scientists and also other educational institution. So then this criminal case comes about, okay, associating with young girls in Palm Beach, Florida. And then in 2025, a 14-year-old girl and her parents reported that Epstein had given young girls money in exchange for massages. Investigators in a part of the Palm Beach Police Department, and then the FBI got involved. They plan to then go federal. All right, so this is how this shit kicked off. And then in 2008, Epstein then pled guilty to solicitation of prostitution, and then one count of solicitation of prostitution with a minor younger than 18. So then he was sentenced to 8 months in jail. Okay. Um, he only served 13 months, and then was given a work release allowed, after being, released. So then the allegations started to come about him abusing minors between 2002 and 2005, that began to basically resurface in the late, um, about 2018. So we're coming up to now to a few years just to walk this up to begin to start um, watching this mess. Okay. So it came come to find out that it was published by a magazine that Epstein did engage in large scale um, procurement with young girls for sexual activities, for not only himself but others as well. And he got indicted by Manhattan, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan, in 2019. and he was arrested then in July 2019. Then 2 days after that, he was charged with sex trafficking and conspiracy. He was denied bail and imprisoned. And then after that, August the 10th, 2019, he was found dead in his cell. All right. So and they pronounced it as a suicide. And ever since then, who knows, in my opinion, um, what he was saying that he was going to talk about until, especially having this many people that's being presented today involved. So, do I think that he killed himself? I do not. But this picture here that was released, I'm gonna do one at a time. To see Woody Allen was the least shocking to me. Well, none of it is shocking to me, um, at all, because Hollywood has always been freaky, and also, especially at a political stage, they are freaks, and especially when it comes to the fraternities and shit like that. You gotta, you know, hear about the Bushes and how all that stuff with bones. They do all sort of rituals and all sort of bullshit and shit like that. Did but the industry has always been perverted like a motherfucker. And so if you look at this here, let's put you here. This is Woody Allen. Now, all of you guys should know who Woody Allen is. And just off the top of the dome, Woody Allen, he married a young girl. Remember, he raised he adopted, him and his wife adopted a little Korean girl. And she might be China, I don't know, but I just say Asian, okay? Because I'm not looking at, I'm just going from the dome. But him and his wife, his ex-wife, adopted a little Asian girl. And they raised that girl, raised her, and then he ended up, if I'm not mistaken, marrying the motherfucker. Let me see if this is the right, because he's another one that slips underneath the carpet. You get what I'm saying? And he's still out here, 90 years old. And I believe his wife, I believe she's like, she might be about six in her 60s or something like that, or maybe in her 50s. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna put this picture up. Damn, I'm gonna put this picture up. Now bear with me because yeah, her name's Soon-Yi Previn. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe that that's his stepdaughter. And that was the freakiest thing. I remember, let me delete this one. And I'm gonna put the other one up. Is this it? Yep. So that was just like the freakiest story ever. And he always gave me the creeps ever since then. But this is the wife here. Let me get the big story. Right. Stepdaughter. Hold on. All right. So Woody Allen's current wife is Soon Young Previn, his stepdaughter from his long-term relationship with actress Mia Farrow. Damn, I forgot about Mia Farrow. Mia Farrow was I love Mia Farrow. She's a great actress. But that really mentally, this situation really fucked Mia up. Okay. Mia, along with, like the Diane Keatons and all of them, and Meryl Streep. But anyway, so they married in 1997 and have been together for decades, famously sparking controversy due to their age gap and Previn's connection to Pharaoh, but they remain together and defend their relationship. Who is she? And it has here Soon-Yi Previn. I'm so sorry, I'm reading actually from the AI overview. Is the adopted daughter of Mia Farrow, making her Alan's stepdaughter. Alan and Mia Farrow were a couple from the 80s, and Alan began a relationship with Soon Yi in the early 1990s, leading to their marriage in 1997. Their relationship drew significant public attention and criticism due to Allen's age, born in 35, Preven's youth, born in the 70. Okay. And the complex family dynamics involved, especially given Farrell's accusations against Allen. And so when it comes to Mia Farrow, actually she spoke out against Allen and his little freaky perverted ways. And you know, before she even became 18, it said that he was, going in her bedroom and shit like that. Woody Allen is a freaky motherfucker anyway. Like if you look at, like, he just looks like a pervert. And they kindly in Hollywood swept that right underneath the rug. So it's no surprise that Woody Allen has multiple photos with Epstein in these files that are being released. It's no surprise. So let's go to the pictures with him and Woody Allen, what they have to say. Child, they have Andrews, Bill Gates. I can't. And the big one, Donald Trump, of course. I'm really interested to see what's going to come about. Bill Clinton, you hear him being spoke about in conspiracy, but see, that's why it's not always good to dismiss when you are hearing stories about, like conspiracies or what can be considered true or false. You just never know, the truth that's involved in it. Now, I can understand it's like real ridiculous what's being said, but for the most part. So they have a picture of, and I'll probably show it because I don't know which one is which, but I am going to show a bunch of photos, but you can Google them. Jeffrey Epstein and Woody Allen. They're sitting in cheetah print chairs around a table with a woman whose face has been covered. Um, when it comes to Woody Allen, also, there's pictures of him with Steve Bannon. All right. Here's another powerful person in politics. Now, they got a picture with those two standing together in an undisclosed location with a dry erase board and cheetah print chair in the background. Okay. Then Woody Allen, once again, on a flight with the former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. Okay. And it looks like with the woman with the Boston Globe identifies as Summers' wife, Harvard professor Eliza New. Okay. Child. So what it said, hold on. So it's saying Larry Summers has taken a step back from some of the public roles recently after emails he exchanged with Epstein surfaced, revealing that the two stayed in contact um, long after Epstein first became a sex offender. It's a lot of people also, let's also concentrate and focus on the fact that you have a lot of celebrities that have moved out of the country. Okay. Let's not listen. Ellen got out of Dodge big time. Ellen got out of Dodge big time. Okay. So it's a list of celebrities. And I'm really not trying to dip into the broad aspect because my focus is just, on Prince Andrew as of right now. But it's just too many celebrities and too many people that's involved in this mess. And no telling who knocked him off and where that came from. And I don't even understand how, just knocking him off anyway, what difference does it make? Especially, I think they don't know that he kept a lot of these files and stuff. Maybe they were supposed to get rid of a lot of things, but I'm not surprised to see Bill Gates at all. Bill Gates looked like a fucking pervert. He just looks like a perv. Okay. Just looks like it. Um, More pictures of Steve Bannon, wall photos of celebrities. Okay. and they make that they appear that to be an unidentified room. I mean, first of all, that's too many pictures being taken anyway. So why didn't these pictures that's being taken when you with him, you should have known the kind of guy that Jeffrey Epstein was, he was just as crooked and dirty and everything else. I mean, he lied about basically, you know, who he was you know, and all of that. So what did you think? That those kind of guys don't go down by themselves. So Epstein probably was talking that shit. That's why they knocked him off. Like, yeah, um, I'm either gonna tell or either I got some shit stashed someplace. We all gonna go down together. If I go down, we all go down. Y'all should have did a better job protecting me. You know what I'm saying? And they probably was roughing them up and where's the files and all stuff and stuff. Child, Steve Bannon again. So hold on. So they have here Woody Allen sits in a director's chair besides Epstein, civilly on a film set. Okay, so why is he there? Why is Epstein there? Why was Epstein even placed like certain places you see him? It's like, why was he there in the first place? But anyway, so listen, the news has been trying to reach out to Allen. You can't get a word out of him. He damn near dead any goddamn way. Woody Allen is 95. So then they have Trump branded condoms found in a New York City store. Trump condom. I'm huge. I think I'm the only. I'll be cracking the fuck up. I'm sorry. I think Trump is hilarious. So a lot of my own people, they be thinking I'm inappropriate, but I just think he's hilarious. I really do. I be cracking the fuck up. First of all, let's just focus on the fact that this man is a real estate mogul, and you know what I'm saying. This is not a reality star. This is Donald Trump, and he's the president of the United States. So miss me with the dumb shit. This shit funny as shit. Why? Because it's all a game. It really is. So listen, on the condoms, it's a photo of Donald Trump branded condoms appeared in Epstein's photo stash. See, Epstein got them real good. He got them real good. Epstein was on some shit like, even though he was taking pictures and shit, he probably told him, ain't nobody gonna get this. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody going. You know what I'm saying? And then, but when he got to a point where he was going down and down, somebody got to go down for the shit. And so once motherfuckers start running their mouth, the fact of the matter is that he had this stash and he got shit probably hitting all over. And he ain't tell them a motherfucking thing. Nothing. And so when he got locked up, who knows what he slipped to certain individuals, like you'll find this here, you'll find this here, you know. And Maxine probably still alive because she probably saying, shit, I ain't know a goddamn thing about what's her name? I ain't know a goddamn thing about none of that, you know. But for the most part, could you blame him? I mean, Epstein probably knew what time it was, dealing with all those high profile people. But he had sense enough to get some kind of, evidence. I mean, who would be dumb enough to keep taking pictures with the girls? Look at dumb Prince Andrew standing right there with the female that ended up getting his ass in the end. You see what I'm saying? Pictures on the jets, pictures at dysfunction, pictures on that. I think that Epstein jumped in those pictures on purpose. I mean, seriously, because let me tell you something. Just because he didn't have the degrees and just because he didn't have the wealthy background, just knowing he was able to get power of attorney, when he did, and having billionaires and millionaires and people with politicians to trust him like that, that means he really had a good gift of gab. And at the end of the day, he got the last laugh. Because these type of guys, they will throw you under the bus. Somebody got to take the fall. Here, Epstein don't got nothing to lose. What the fuck are you losing at the end of the day? End of the day, you're not like the president. You're not like the secretary of state. You're not like none of that. So you take the downfall. And when he probably needed when he needed help, motherfuckers wasn't trying to help him. You get what I'm saying? So shit. Okay. He stood right next to them every single time. You got a picture right here with Bill Clinton. It says here the picture of Bill Clinton signature photo with him and Jeffrey Epstein, okay, and Maxwell, and two others. A spokesperson for Clinton has consistently shared a statement over the years that insists the former president knows nothing about the sex crimes that Epstein pleaded guilty to in 2008, nor the trafficking charges that the financier faced at the time of his death in 2019. Well, explain. I understand that. I can understand the argument of, listen, they didn't know. They had nothing to do with that. Okay, so what made you? Why are you taking pictures of them? I would, if I was a spokesperson for Clinton or one of them, my response would be, somebody he just came over and said he getting in the picture to take a picture with me. He wanted to take a picture with the goddamn president. But you know why they can't say that? You know why they can't go with that? Because they don't know what else Epstein hid or have. Do you understand me? So they have to be very particular and just say, I didn't know that was going on at the time. You get what I mean? But at the same time, you have their people getting with them. Bill, tell me, do you remember seeing any flash from cameras? Did anybody have a phone? And you know what? During this time, them niggas was probably fucked up. Okay? They were fucked up. They don't know what's going on. And here go our boy. Let's get into ex Prince Andrew. Okay. Now, I'm gonna have to dip into the interview that he had um with the British Barbara Walters. Okay. That's to me, that's who she is. Okay. To me, also the Netflix film sucked. Y'all know I'm a big British royal fan. So when they did the documentary over on um, Prince Prince Andrews, I just was like, oh, you know. I think the journalist did a very good job, but the actress, I didn't know her name. But I'll go ahead and give that when I'm at the proper screen. But like I said, I wasn't prepared to do this. But anyway, they have a picture of Prince Andrew and Bill Gates. Okay. So where were they? Mm. All right. So this was a newly released photo. So this just got dropped today. Through the image was not taken. I'm so sorry. Not through. Sorry. Though the image was not taken by Epstein and notably cropped out King Charles. Get into it. Get into it. And so the photo was cropped out, but when they found the stash, it was just Andrew and Bill. Now, who do you think told the King Charles was dead? All right, so but I think that Charles was a little bit more reserved by his parents, and because he was the next in line to become king. Prince Andrew was Queen Elizabeth's favorite son. Okay, and we'll definitely get into that, but she was his favorite son. She looks more like I'm so sorry, he looks more like his mother, but he was the favorite out of all Queen Elizabeth's children. But when it came to King Charles had to go to special schools. He couldn't play with certain people. He couldn't go different places and stuff like that. But conveniently, the photo was cropped. Okay, and it's just dropped not too long ago. This is part of the first photo batch. All right, so in the original photo before the cropping, um, and it's saying that you can see it in Getty Images. Gates is shown speaking with then Prince Andrew and King Charles. Um, during the malaria summit at the 2018 Commonwealth Business Forum in London, England. All right. So, mm, a spokesperson for Rep. Garcia, the ranking member of the House Oversight Committee, told People magazine that the photo arrived with Charles cropped out when Congress received the files from the Epstein estate. This is, I mean, even though Charles is there, I guess they're trying to show that, because sometimes when they're releasing stuff, they're painting a picture of what's to come. So by me seeing this and having Charles cropped out, what I get from that is them basically telling them that Charles and Andrew was there, and so was Bill, because it was a business meeting going on, at the time. However, it's more to come with Prince Andrew and Bill Gates involved. So that's what I get out of that. To me, them sending it like that was a clue. All right. So more pictures of Donald Trump and Epstein. Then a picture of Donald Trump with a group of women. But Trump he was cool with Hefner. Everybody, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. The only thing I can tell you. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is a good one too. Steve Bannon actually sitting down having a meeting. Steve Bannon was a long time advisor for Trump, actually. And so they have a picture of them sitting down in the office, child. Why? Why are these important people? Why are these important people sitting down with a man who didn't finish college? Why? Okay. That's what the observers like myself is thinking. I mean, it doesn't take rocket science or any type of special delivery. I'm trying to figure out, when they want to hire people for their company, because it has to make sense, right? When you want to hire people to work in executive position for your companies, or when you want to choose a executive secretary, you want to make sure they went to school, the credits are checked and all of that, right? But then hold on, when it comes to, so what the fuck are you talking to Epstein about? What he doesn't sell tires, brakes, he's not a mechanic. He doesn't have hookup at hotels. What the point is, what could y'all be possibly talking about? Now, it's easy to take pictures, like I said, and be sitting and just say, oh, he jumped in the picture, right? I don't know. All right. So let me keep going. I just got a text message and I don't want to scream in y'all ear. My husband just texted me, told me what he think one of my kids is in town. I don't like surprises. I know my children are coming home for the holidays, but I was given different dates, and so my husband knows I don't like to be like shocked. Like I don't like that. I don't like surprises. I just don't. And so um okay. And so my husband said he has an idea um that he's there. Hold on. All right, so let me hurry up, because I'm telling you, if one of my kids walk in that damn door, I'm going to holler, okay? And I ain't gonna be able to. I have time to mute, turn it off. I ain't gonna do a damn thing because I'm dropping every goddamn thing. All right, so they're supposed to be here. They're in the Marines, and they all across the countries and doing their thing. But I was told a later date, and today is just the 12th, and they all promised me they'd be home for Christmas. But my thing is, I hope my husband just don't like me to be shocked because he knows I'll get mad. I don't know. I ain't gonna know whether to cry, be happy, shocked, be mad. So that's just how I am. I have different reactions. I don't I wouldn't know. And so I don't want to introduce that side um virtually because I'm going to holler. Okay. I've been and doxed everybody. Okay. Screaming and hollering, but mostly mad because they didn't tell. And I don't like being surprised. And this is the type of shit that I have to deal with. So my husband was just texting me saying, brace my, to break, brace myself. Um, he was just saying, I think one of the kids in town, um, I think they're playing games. So they probably doing, I don't know what they're doing, but they like to play. Let me hurry up because because I've been in, I don't want to, I'm gonna be cussing them out. Oh my God, crying and this, fuck you. Why the fuck you ain't telling? I don't need nobody calling no mother. Well, go ahead and call the cops because they grown and go ahead and call them, please. Go ahead and call the cops. But that's just how I talk, okay? But anyway, what we gonna do, we're gonna go to phase two. We're gonna get more into um Prince Andrew because that's our focus. Okay. We've been on it, and the show is up there. I'm gonna put it in a playlist so we can be able to start from somewhere. But I just wanted to tell the origin of Jeffrey Epstein, and also you know how he got caught up between what's his name. Yes, man, I'm excited now, so I don't know. I'm just because I keep like looking at the door, like you know what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna get off here because my nerves real bad, and then the door could be shut, and then it could be my husband playing games. One of them could be here, and something going on out there. So I just don't want to. And my husband knows I'm online, so I don't know what's happening. I just feel like something is off, but in a good way. But I have a feeling that one of my kids are here. So anyway, I'm just gonna get off. I'm just gonna. Hey y'all, I'm looking at the chat now. Y'all know I have to focus. But y'all, I'm excited. Where's my rent? I'm telling you, somebody, and I'm gonna find out who it is. Somebody you done pissed off that's an admin on my channel. Um, Somebody you done pissed off that's an admin on my channel. But yeah, hold on. I don't have nobody as moderate. Look, I'm just doing one right now. Then I have hold on. I'm just gonna make the matriarchs right now. For the matriarchs right now, I'm just gonna make the matriarchs of my brands, you know, all my channels, you know, they just overseers. I only have two. Ain't no changing, none of that. You know, then we got Auntie Chop. But I can't see, I'm gonna work on it. I promise I'm going to work on it. Look, I can see you here again, but I can't see you in my chat. So I have 8 admins, and I have to check it to see what the fuck they did. But for as of for right now, the only ones on this channel that have riches right now, I believe, is Vibrant and maybe my sisters. I don't know, but I just think it's just like my sisters and like Vibrant and Pay His Lordship, and then you have Street, like my regular my you know my kinfolk. But other than that, I had to make the Mama Rose gonna be mad at me, but I had to do the two mamas because um when I'm on this channel, I'm almost never looking at the chat ever. But I got you. I promise. I got you. I got you. I got you. All right, we're gonna get you up out of that hitting, and then get you some get you in blue. All right, guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and end the show. We did the foundation, okay? Then we're gonna go over um we're gonna go over um the episode I already done. It's a year old, but I'm just gonna just like play that through, and so you can hear me talk about how Prince Andrew got caught up and how we got to this point. We're gonna watch the interview over how he told all those lies compared to today. We locked and loaded. Then we're gonna talk about when he got dethroned and all of that good stuff, and catch up with some of the royals tea. I do want to, if one of my kids, okay, well, I'll just say it. If one of my boys not here, then today I'm gonna come back and I have a show that I have to do, and we're going to catch up on Smokey. Okay, I'm really excited about Smokey, so I want to talk about Smokey. So if I find out that my if my one of my boys not here, or whichever one of us too many, god damn it, then I'll come back. But if I don't, that means that um something is on the other side of that door. Okay, and I don't want you to be over to that side of me. Anyway, I'm cool. And taking it easy, calm, cool, collected. Look, I'm telling myself I'm cool. I'm calm, cool, collected. Because my anxiety, I'm like, So anyway, I'm excited, and I'm just going to get off of here. So I'll see you guys either later or tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be over the high, unless they just keep coming in, then I'm just fucked up. But for the most part, hopefully I don't get too, like, you know what I mean? Bye, guys.
All right. It's time to get out your seats. Get up. It's going down. The show is about to start. Yes. This is the moment you've been waiting for. Make sure you tell a friend. Diva Tomboyish is in the house. That's right. Diva Tomboyish in the house. And the song. Came just in time. Welcome to the Diva Tomboys Show, live and direct.